We generally think of cartoons as being pure fantasy, leaping from the artist's mind to the page as if by magic. You know, fully formed creations completely flowing from the cartoonist's brain. But this just isn't always the case. Like all art, cartoons often borrow their inspiration from other places, including real life. Seriously, cartoonists take their inspiration from real people all the time. Yosemite Sam is basically actor Red Skelton. Archie Andrews is Mickey Rooney. And every single Disney prince is based on me, Nostalgic Nick. Really, I promise. Anyway, today we are looking at 10 famous cartoons that you may not realize are based on real people. Before we dive in, please hit that thumbs up icon to show support, and make sure you're subscribed to our channel for more. But without further ado, let's get to the tunes. Popeye.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
We all remember the ridiculousness of Popeye, right? The ornery sailor who downed spinach by the canful to gain super strength, to defeat his nemesis Bluto, and rescue his damsel in distress Olive Oyl. Surely this caricature of a human could not have been based on a real person, right? Well, of course, wrong. As Popeye was in fact based on a bartender from creator E.C. Seeger's hometown. Frank Rocky Feigl had a prominent chin, sinewy physique, and a propensity for pipe smoking, with a great habit of getting into fist fights. So basically the spitting image of the Sailor Man. Seeger even mailed Feigl checks for the rest of his life as a little thank you for inspiring one of the 20th century's most iconic characters. The Vultures from the Jungle Book.
So you can see we're friends in need.
Go back and watch any of the scenes from 1967's Jungle Book that have vultures in them, and a realization slowly hits. These 4 vultures have mop tops, speak with exaggeratedly dopey Liverpudlian accents, and sing a catchy Brit pop song. Oh wait, holy crap, these birds are based on the Beatles. The movie's writers, hoping to capitalize on the band's superstardom, had actually hoped to cast the Fab Four and have them sing That's What Friends Are For. But apparently John Lennon wanted to be all grown up and refused. Which just goes to show you what drugs will do, because Yellow Submarine came out barely a year later. Mr. Burns.
You truly are the King of Kings.
Excellent. Mr. Burns, the evil embodiment of corporate greed on The Simpsons. Might seem too outlandish to be real. But in fact, Burns is based on not 1, not 2, but 3 real people. His personality was inspired by a combination of John D. Rockefeller, makes sense as he is a tycoon who values money above all else, and Simpsons creator Matt Groening's high school teacher, Mr. Bailey. Which, we all had issues with some teachers when we were young. But to base one of the evilest cartoons ever after one, ouch. Then, in another bold move, the show's animation department modeled Mr. Burns' appearance on Fox Broadcasting founder Barry Diller, who was, of course, everyone affiliated with The Simpsons' boss. Seriously, what cojones? Ursula.
Come on, you poor unfortunate soul!
For 1989's hit The Little Mermaid, the character of Ursula was elevated from a very minor part in the original fairy tale to being the central antagonist who trades Ariel a pair of legs in return for her voice. Ursula herself had a deep, sultry voice and an extremely unique aesthetic that was half sexy octopus and half notorious drag queen divine.
Filth are my politics, filth is my life!
Yep, that's right. One of Disney's most celebrated villains of all time was based on the star of Pink Flamingos, a performer that director John Waters affectionately referred to as, quote, the most beautiful woman in the world, almost. Well, Ursula borrowed Divine's signature eye makeup, jewelry, and rotund body shape. and became absolutely unforgettable in the process. Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc?
And now onto the absolute most iconic cartoon character of all time, the tricksy rabbit himself, Bugs Bunny. While the famous bunny's creation was the work of many artists, drawing from many sources, go back and watch Clark Gable's Oscar-winning performance in It Happened One Night, and you'll start to notice some things. Both Gable and Bugs are sarcastic, charismatic, scrappy, and, dare I say it, roguishly handsome. In one scene, Gable, stranded on the side of the road, leans against a fence, calmly munching on a carrot, while speaking out of the side of his mouth. And while he never actually says, "What's up, Doc?" you can definitely see where the inspiration for our favorite cotton-tailed hero came from. Betty Boop. So everybody knows who Betty Boop is. The jazz-age flapper described in a 1934 court case as, quote, combining in appearance the childish with the sophisticated, a large round baby face with big eyes and a nose like a button. Perhaps the leading characteristic is the most self-confident little bust imaginable. And why was this oh-so-elegant description included in a Depression-era lawsuit? Why, because Betty Boop's entire character was lifted pretty much 100% from a singer named Helen Kane. So Kane attempted to sue the cartoon's creators, but was ultimately unsuccessful. Don't feel too bad for her though, because Kane's entire onstage persona was completely stolen from a black performer, Bobby Esther Jones. So what goes around comes around for sure. Edna Mode.
Words are useless. Gobble, 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 gobble. Too much of it, darling, too much.
In The Incredibles, Pixar's hit about a family of superheroes, Edna Mode provides comic relief and bulletproof supersuits as the diminutive, no-nonsense costume designer. But she wasn't just a fantasy created in a writer's head. She actually existed. Kind of. Edna was based on famous fashion designer Edith Head. Both shared Head's signature black bob haircut and round glasses. Both were masters of the world of fashion. Mode just catered to superheroes, and Head to the Hollywood elite, who might actually be the closest thing we have to superheroes in the real world. No word yet on how many awards Mode won, but Head cleaned up to the tune of 8 Best Costuming Academy Awards, including for The Sting and Roman Holiday. But honestly, I don't know who I'd rather have design my clothes. Mr. Magoo.
Some of these seats are much too high. This is really yanking up the stadium.
Who doesn't love Mr. Magoo? The wealthy retiree who gets into all sorts of hijinks due to his extreme short-sightedness and his refusal to acknowledge that problem. Magoo's appearance is instantly recognizable, all the way to his bulbous nose, right up to his big round head. And if that description sounds familiar, it perfectly describes W.C. Fields. Fields was a hard-drinking, beloved comic that was unfortunate enough looking that one of the most bumbling cartoon characters of all time was designed in his image. Ouch. Just look at them side by side. They look like a couple of uncles at a Christmas you definitely don't want to get stuck talking to. But you can just back away, Magoo won't notice. Troy McClure.
I'm Troy McClure, star of such films as P is for Psycho and The President's Neck is Missing.
Hi, he's Troy McClure. You might remember him from such TV shows as The Simpsons, in which he plays a washed-up actor who can only get jobs in PSAs, like Designated Drivers, The Life-Saving Nerds, and Fox specials such as 5 Fabulous Weeks of The Chevy Chase Show. The Simpsons writers based McClure's character and personality on 2 actual B-movie actors from the 50s and 60s, Troy Donahue and Doug McClure. Both were very handsome young men who just couldn't seem to break through to the A-list, and have since been consigned to the dustbin of history. But if you think basing a washed-up actor off of them on one of the most popular cartoons of all time is mean, think again. Doug McClure's kids found it to be hilarious, and would often call him Troy behind his back. Tintin. While not as well known in the US, Tintin, a brave young Belgian reporter and adventurer, is one of the most popular cartoons of all time in the world, with the iconic comics having sold over 200 million copies and been translated into over 70 languages. But the young hero wasn't just the creation of a cartoonist. He was actually based on a Danish film actor, Palle Hood. In 1928, at the tender age of 15, Palle Hood won a newspaper contest to honor Jules Verne, and he set off to circumnavigate the globe in under 46 days without the use of aircraft. Amazingly, Hood completed the task in just 44 days, returning to Copenhagen a hero. The cartoonist was inspired by the Danish boy's feat, and poof, Tintin was born. Oh boy, that was really fun. 10 cartoon characters I didn't know were based on real people. And if any of you did, let me know in the comments, but which surprised you? And did we leave off any real-life inspirations of other cartoons? Please let me know. Before you head out of here to circumnavigate your living room, please hit that thumbs up icon to show support. And subscribe to our channel for all things nostalgia. But from all of us here at Do You Remember, we want to thank you for watching.